Every person wants to change something about themselves. We want to become healthier, more disciplined, more successful, more patient, more confident. But most people approach change the wrong way. They wait until they feel motivated. They search for the perfect plan. They believe one big decision will transform their life. More than 2,500 years ago, Pythagoras saw through this illusion. The man remembered today for a mathematical theorem understood something far more important than numbers. He understood that your life is not shaped by your biggest decisions. It is shaped by your smallest repeated actions. In other words, your habits become your identity. And once you understand this, you'll never look at your daily routine the same way again. Pythagoras believed that everything in the universe followed patterns. The stars moved in patterns. Music followed patterns. Nature followed patterns. Human beings were no different. He taught that excellence wasn't something you occasionally achieved. It was something you practiced every single day. Every action, no matter how small, was like placing another brick in the foundation of your character. Most people think identity comes first. They say, once I'm disciplined, I'll start waking up early. Once I'm confident, I'll speak up. Once I'm successful, I'll become consistent. Pythagoras would have completely reversed that way of thinking. You don't act because of who you are. You become who you are because of how you act. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're becoming a disciplined person. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're becoming someone who can be trusted. Every time you take the easy way out, you're reinforcing that identity too. Whether you realize it or not, you're always casting votes for the person you're becoming. That's why habits are so powerful. Not because one workout changes your body, not because one book changes your mind, not because one difficult conversation changes your life. It's because repeated actions quietly transform you over months and years until one day, people call it talent. But it was never talent. It was repetition. Think about the greatest musicians, the strongest athletes, the most respected leaders. From the outside, they appear naturally gifted. But beneath every remarkable person are thousands of ordinary days. Days when they practiced without applause. Days when they showed up without motivation. Days when nobody was watching. Pythagoras understood that greatness is usually invisible while it's being built. We live in a culture obsessed with dramatic transformation, 30-day challenges, overnight success stories, life hacks, quick fixes. We celebrate the breakthrough while ignoring the years of quiet preparation that made it possible. The truth is much less exciting and much more powerful. Your future isn't created by extraordinary days. It's created by ordinary days repeated consistently. The life you have today is largely the result of habits you've been practicing for years. The good news is that this works both ways. Small negative habits don't seem dangerous. Skipping one workout, scrolling for another 20 minutes, putting off that difficult task until tomorrow. Each decision feels insignificant, but habits don't ask permission before they compound. 1 degree off course seems harmless, until you've traveled hundreds of miles in the wrong direction. Fortunately, positive habits work exactly the same way. Reading 10 pages every day doesn't feel life-changing. Saving a few dollars each week doesn't feel significant. Taking a short walk every evening doesn't seem remarkable. Until you look back a year later and realize you've become a completely different person. This is why patience is one of the greatest forms of discipline. Pythagoras knew that meaningful change happens quietly, like a tree growing. You don't notice it from one day to the next, but over time, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. One of the most overlooked lessons from Pythagoras is that discipline isn't punishment. It's alignment. Every habit either moves you closer to the person you want to become or further away. There is no standing still. Every day you're either strengthening your character or weakening it. This isn't meant to create guilt. It's meant to create awareness. Because awareness gives you a choice. You don't have to change your entire life tomorrow. You only need to change your next decision. One healthier meal, one chapter, one workout, one difficult conversation, one promise kept, then repeat it tomorrow. and the day after that. Eventually, those actions stop feeling like something you force yourself to do. They simply become who you are. Perhaps that's the greatest lesson Pythagoras left behind. Your identity isn't something you discover. It's something you build. One decision, one habit, one ordinary day at a time. So tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself one simple question. What habits am I practicing that my future self will thank me for? Because whether you notice it or not, you are becoming someone. The only question is whether you're becoming that person by design or by default.